Congratulations to Florida A&M's men's golf team. They won the HBCU National Championship. The Rattlers finished 29 strokes ahead of the competition. The Dodgers' 7-game winning streak is currently the longest in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers start a 3-game series in San Diego tonight. First pitch at 6:40. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising@KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First Black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag smiling, making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted Black and Brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. Yes, I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and kicking this thing off. Let's go. Happy Friday. Yay. Man, I know it's been a bumpy week for you because it's been a bumpy week for me, and usually when the stars be doing the bumpy week thing, everybody feels it. So, thank God it's Friday. Okay, so yeah, woosah. We need to get Sahara in here, Sahara Ali. Okay, so this is how we do it. Hour 1, we look to the local side of town, whatever's going around here. We're broadcasting live from Leimert Park, Africa Town, USA. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. The third hour, we do a deep dive. Today is Freedman Friday, so Hour 2 will be all about reparations, a comprehensive conversation. Let's argue about it, talk about it, learn about it, get smarter, and make it happen. Be part of making it happen. Hour 3 will open up the phone lines. Well, we usually do that, but today I have a special surprise for you. Comedian Grady is coming in. Okay, I ruined the surprise already. But speaking of surprises that aren't surprising, Sherri Bell is here. She is a labor organizer and a KBLA contributor. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, everybody out there listening this morning. Happy Friday.
And a mom and a proud Dorsey Dawn.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that's a West Coast thing. So, I don't know of you. I didn't, I should have gone on your Instagram feed to see if there was They Not Like Us.
Oh, wow.
I feel like pretty much the entire West Coast was on there, dancing that
I
little
love to see it. Yeah.
tribal dances that
right.
we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're talking
And
about.
it's just turning up.
Right. Yeah, that was a little surprise out of the diss battle rounds. A little new West Coast anthem.
Yeah, that last one. Okay, Miles, I got to bring you in here since we just real quick. Questlove has this quote that a lot of people are posting, and I don't have it right in front of me, but basically saying this battle is whack. They're mud wrestling. It's low level, and hip hop is dead. And Questlove is a much more important figure in hip hop than I will ever be. But I just don't agree with that crap. Sorry.
I don't think hip hop's definitely not dead. They're throwing mud for sure. They got dirty.
Throwing mud, yeah, for sure it's dirty. But
it's a fight. What are you saying?
It's a fight, right? But I'm just saying. To me, it sounds like he's saying there's no skill in the fight, and I don't agree with that at all. I mean, I definitely think Kendrick is doing damage, but they're both showing skill. So I don't see it as a sign that hip hop is dead. Maybe you don't want it to go there.
Yeah, maybe you don't like that, but yeah, hip hop is definitely not dead. This is we literally just watched, in my opinion, like a cultural transition happen in front of our eyes right there,
Yeah.
and I think we're the furthest thing from hip hop being dead right now. Questlove, you may not like the blog style headline punchlines that were in there, but nah, that was some damn good hip hop.
Well, yeah, and his style is maybe different. But what do you say, Sherri?
I say that I think it's a good time to close the loop on the battle. I think, but I also think that, people got to remember the origins of rap. Like, people used to battle on the corner, battle, you know? So it's like, this is the roots of hip hop. And, the people who are of an older generation, I've heard another comment, similar, given by Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's not a rapper, FYI.
Who's not a rapper.
I mean, neither am I. But,
right.
But I am a hip-hop early adapter.
Right.
Let me put it that way.
Yeah, and then some people say this actually the opposite, right? It awakened hip hop. Like, hip hop, wasn't doing,
I agree with that.
Forcing people to, get up and,
I mean, I don't want people, look, and I was thinking about this, Sherri, because, on the Tupac Machiavelli album, I'm the one kind of criticizing,
Right.
Hit 'em Up.
Mm-hmm.
And because to me it was at a new level. I mean, he said, I slept with your wife, and not in those words. And I just thought those were serious war words, words of war.
Right.
So am I a hypocrite because now I'm like, yeah, go Kendrick, woo, woo. I mean, it's not that I wasn't feeling Tupac back then. It's just that I was concerned because the East Coast, West Coast thing was already bad at that point.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad, and now we've got Toronto, West Coast, but it's not, but like I said, this is a perfect time to close the loop. You had a great deal of concern for that at that time, given the outcome.
Yeah, and then look at the outcome. Right. So yeah, I mean, I knew.
It depends.
I because you're there, you're living it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't see. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't see people lining up to go kill Drake.
Right. It seems like something that's going to stay on wax, you know. And I think that it was a good little shaking up, for hip hop early in the year. Now it's time to get to the summer fun songs, So let's go.
Do you agree, Miles? Do you think it'll stay on wax?
Oh yeah, I don't see it now. I don't know if you saw somebody spray painted Drake's store into his OVO store
in London.
Right. So
yeah, I did.
I'm not gonna put it past trolls to troll, because we're at an all-time high with the internet trolling coming to real life. Like, we're seeing it happen in front of our eyes. But do I see Kendrick's camp and the West Coast beefing with Drake's camp and the West Coast not really turning into something? I don't see that happening. But the trolling, you never know about that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you never know about trolling, and you never know if he decides to escalate. Like, if he,
If who?
Drake.
But come back at Kendrick?
No, I mean, he has a right to come back at him. I'm just talking about with his actions, not his words.
It's not Drake's style.
Right, I know. But, he's probably going through it right now. But I don't see that either. I don't see that. I mean, I don't see that either.
Yeah, he might want to stop. Especially like with Metro Boomin pulling out them old clips of him. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Well, anyway, I had to ask you because I started thinking, well, I was the one saying,
What?
How you feeling about Tupac's new one? And now I'm over here going, they not like us. Like, Dominique, are you a hypocrite? But I think it is that I just don't feel like it's going to jump off into, and also that was a whole war between coasts that was already going on.
Record executives were also in the beef.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Yeah.
Great point. Most important point, actually, when it comes to the fatality part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's like the lawyer's response. It depends.
Right. C clause 5(7)(b). Yeah. So, Sherri Bell is in the house, and you're welcome to call in, not just about this, about whatever's on your mind. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. That's the number to call. You doing anything special for Mother's Day, Miss Sherri?
Nope, not this year. Not that I can think of. I mean, I wouldn't mind a nice, healthy brunch.
You're going to have to stop by and raise a glass with me.
Okay.
We're going to have some mimosas.
Some motherly libations.
Some motherly libations. Yeah. Because this gotta be a big Mother's Day for. This is gonna be my first one with my kid not home.
Wow.
So we're going to Frankie Beverly. We're gonna go turn up at the farm. Man, I wish I would have thought about it. You should come turn up with us.
Oh man, I would have liked to do what y'all gonna do, the electric slide?
Yeah, this is his farewell concert. It's a Mother's Day concert.
What?
Anthony Hamilton is there. After 7 is there. So, and it's the Forum on Mother's Day. So it's going to be full of black women who are on one. So
local.
Yeah, I'm going for the vibes, stay for the music.
And good singing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
But
great.
we got to get you a little something.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm not a bartender, but I'm pretty sure I can mix up some mimosas.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good.
Happy Mother's Day, one and all. If you want to call in and give some love to your mama, please do so. And okay, here's a question. I think that a lot of men who are in relationships, and you're welcome to chime in, Miles, if you want to, in relationships that involve children, a lot of men with baby mamas or wives think that Mother's Day is only for their mom and not for the mother of their children. And I do not agree with that.
Big mistake.
I do not agree with that. If a woman had your baby, you're meant to at least wish her a Mother's Day, joy or something. I mean, flowers, a card, or some cash would be nice, but the least you can do is say Happy Mother's Day because she became a mother on your behalf.
Man, yeah, I don't know what philosophy that is. That's a flawed way of thinking. I mean, because here you are. Who's going to appreciate her? Oh, the kids might, but like
they might.
They might if they're old enough,
right, or young enough.
Right.
When they're real little, they make them do Mother's Day projects, and
right.
You get a card or a little pottery glass or something.
I mean, look, fellas, if you're out there and you have children, biological children, stepchildren, are you in a relationship with a woman with a child that's not yours? At the minimum you could do is just say Happy Mother's Day at the least.
Yeah. I mean, I would suggest at least a card. A flower, even if you got to go pick it at the park.
A digital card.
A digital, something. Yeah, I think this is very common. I've had this argument even with my brothers. Yes, you have to give your baby mama something. That's why they call it Mother's Day.
Yeah, we be expecting stuff. We might not say it, but it'd be in the back of our mind.
Yeah, most of us won't say it. I wonder if this man is going to do right.
Right.
Dang. Yeah, you don't have to, buy me a car, but something. Some acknowledgement.
Yeah, because, it's going to be in the back of your mind like, dang, this person don't care about me. No.
You acknowledge the homie's birthday, and he has not gone through the pain and agony that is necessary to produce a human being.
Yeah, that part is very strange to me. Like, you took part in creating this. So what about on Father's Day? You must not be expecting nothing either then.
Oh, but they are. Cue the Chris Rock, complaining comedy. 800-920-1580. We do have a lot to talk about. It's Sherri Bell and Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. First, thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580. We deeply appreciate you. So, I get asked all the time, Tavis, when are you going to bring back that State of the Black Union symposium you used to do? You know the one where you had all those black intellectuals on stage every year and everybody watched all day live on C-SPAN? Yeah, I know the one. Let's bring them back. Well, I am pleased to tell you that if you go to KBLA1580.com right now, you can sign up to be in the audience here in Los Angeles when we go back live on C-SPAN with a stage full of black thinkers and influencers for a historic conversation. America has never seen a stage full of black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's going down Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. Once we reach capacity, you'll have to watch us on C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. I believe up there. Hey!
On your period, sudden gushes happen without warning. But now, you can say goodbye to stand-up gush fears, thanks to Always Ultra Thins with rapid dry technology. It absorbs gushes 2 times faster than the leading store brand and gives you up to 100% leak-free protection. Hello, clean and comfortable with Always Fear No Gush.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Okay, it's Dominique DiPrima and Sherri Bell, not just Dominique DiPrima. And we actually had a whole conversation that we probably should have saved for on the air. But the Los Angeles City Council has put Kevin DeLeon, disgraced, racist, anti-renter council member and council candidate, Kevin DeLeon, back on all of his committees. And the council president, Paul Krikorian, made that announcement Wednesday. He's also going to allow council member Kern Price to return to some committees, which I think is interesting. I feel like this is my analysis. I have no evidence, but I feel like Krikorian is doing that to stop black people from going buck wild, that he's putting a racist. But it's, to me, the scandals are different, Sherri, totally different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that definitely is the case, because if it was, if that was a genuine interest in putting Councilmember Price back on committees, it could have been done a long time ago. Or, he couldn't have never been taken off in the first place, being that he hasn't really been, convicted of anything. And when it comes to talking about ethical violations that, Councilmember Price is being accused of, and then here you have Kevin DeLeon, who is on a secretly recorded video expressing his true feelings of what he think about African American Black Angelenos, right? Being loud and boisterous and not really having any power, and mocking a lot of the fights that Black people brought to City Hall, right? Like disproportionate deaths of unarmed Black people, or just no accountability. Like, these are very serious topics that were up for protest. And that's not all. I'm pretty sure there's more. And he's in control of a very densely populated Black area, which is Skid Row, the most vulnerable Black Angelenos that you can think of. And he's there. He represents them, and he made very concerning comments. So it's very interesting how society, or LA City Council, or whoever decides who gets to bring charges, the district attorney, weighs
that's the DA,
like weighs who gets to be in decision making power based on their actions, because it appears that if it's a conflict of interest, that Curran Price allegedly voted on some things that that his partner was with, or like that his partner was receiving health care benefits of somebody who was living, like stuff like that is takes more precedence over somebody outwardly expressing things that can influence their policy, and how they could potentially made decisions in the past and might make decisions in the future that could put people at a disadvantage who are already at a disadvantage.
I mean, the guy is an outright anti-indigenous, anti-renter, racist. I mean, he expressed it. He tries to say he wasn't the one saying the major things. Did he object? No, he didn't even object when they disrespected him for looking like a so-called Indio, which is Indian. I mean, he Ann Coultered. He got Ann Coultered and didn't even push back. Well, it was a different kind of Indian in that clip. But the point is, I mean, so Paul Krikorian, who's the city council president, that means he is co-signing what Kevin DeLeon did, said, and stands for. That he's co-signing it. And for him to say, oh, well, we'll put Curran back. His excuse is that there's only 15 council members and, there's 13 committees, so they have to work on too many committees without KDL and Curran.
Oh,
so put Curran back and leave KDL out. Because honestly, it is different. One is hate crime level.
Yeah.
And the other one is, possibly you put your wife, who everyone knew was your wife, on your benefits without taking your former, without fully having divorced your former wife. That's the kind of thing. I'm voting for D.A. Gascon. I'm a supporter of him, but I don't understand why he would even bring those charges after the FBI already investigated and decided not to bring charges.
Right.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's very like a criminal injustice system when you think about the types of charges that are brought against Black political figures like Marilyn Mosby. So it's like who do you get to, like, how the justice system plays out is very subjective.
Yeah, well, it's very racist. I mean, I guess that's a form of subjectivity. Yeah, but I think the timing of it is really suspect too, right? Because it's coming before the election, before the election. So it's like the city council president has chosen to normalize this racist, disgraced individual at a time when it's critical for him to be normalized, because he's trying to beat back a challenge from a very organized. Isabel Jurado is, she's an attorney, super smart. She was on this show. And she's a community organizer. She's a renters' rights lawyer, which I think is so ironic that this guy that was plotting to give renters less power on the city council through gerrymandering is running up against a renters' rights attorney.
Yeah. I really hope that she prevails. I think that what her platform will bring is the greater interest of the people in that district, put their interests first ahead of corporate, interest, people who line pay for play type of culture. I think that the people first. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people in that district who think like Kevin.
Well, and see, I think part of it is that he's real slick with his anti-Blackness. So, there are tensions in LA between Black and Latino communities to a degree, and I think he's exploiting that. He's exploiting the fear of Black people that some Latinos, and it's more older generation who, maybe are more recent immigrants, or their English is not as strong, and it's I don't think it's the second, third, or all their going back to Pio Pico Latinos that he can exploit that way. I think it's the ones that are more new and afraid, and he also is practicing bribery campaigning, which here's a water bottle, here's I'm Santa, let me give out presents. I mean, he's going all in, and I think it's the Southern strategy for Southern California coupled with Santa DeLeon.
Right. I mean, I think that he's playing off the fact that he's born in East LA, that he's from the community, and they got a lot of pride in that community, but he's been all over the place in terms of his political career, and I don't really know. He's probably trying to show that he's giving back to the community more, like the poor folks in that community more, but I think he made it clear that he's a career politician, and I do think that it is kind of messed up that he's looked at as being in a non-punitive state before the election.
To me, it is disgraceful that you can talk all that smack
in today's time.
In today's time, and be a contender.
Yeah.
That is, if he wins, this is going to be a huge setback for Black LA, I think.
Well, I mean, hopefully he doesn't win, but I think that whatever Black people in Skid Row, there's an organizing opportunity.
Yeah, that's a great point.
What LA can, they do a lot of organizing on Skid Row and other areas.
Yeah, that's true. So, if the unhoused vote, which they can, you don't have to have an address. You can go put you can put the Union Rescue Mission or My Friend's Place, another homeless service place as your address, and you can vote still using that address. That's a great point.
Yeah, it could call for more transparency and equity measures based off of his comments. He has to really, if he wins, which I hope he doesn't based on his comments, but it will call for more transparency and accountability on what he's actually doing to show that he's not who he said he was on that tape.
Just listening to me and you right now, Sherri, I feel like I want to go make a donation to Isabel Jurado's campaign. I'm really feeling inspired to do that right now. That's a win we can't allow. I just don't feel like we can allow that you can be a blatantly racist, anti-Black person and still be welcomed. And the crazy thing is, a lot of those people that he's fanning the flames of anti-Blackness and giving out water bottles and Thanksgiving turkeys, a lot of them are indigenous people.
Wow.
And he's anti-you too. So
right, yeah.
So he might be acting like Santa DeLeon, but he don't have your back either. Are you a renter? That's what I thought. Yeah, we have news, traffic, and sports, but let's do something a little different. Don't forget to tap in on social media at KBLA 1580, and I'm DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio on all platforms. And Sherri, you are
Sherri De La Ghetto on Instagram. You can, follow me or visit the page, show me some love.
Show us some love. News, traffic, sports, then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure is going to have a hearing on the federal response to the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore, Maryland in March. A press release from the committee said the hearing will be held Wednesday morning and will feature witnesses that include NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy and a Federal Highway Administration official. A Virginia school board is voting to restore Confederate names to two of its schools. The Shenandoah County School Board had voted in 2020 to remove the names of Confederate Generals Stonewall Jackson and Robert E. Lee from the local schools to affirm the district's commitment to an inclusive school environment. At a meeting, the school board voted to restore the names, saying the change was wrongly done and lacked public input. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the takeover? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
At least former Lakers coach Darvin Ham had 2 seasons with the team. Frank Vogel lasted only 1 with the Phoenix Suns. Vogel was kicked to the curb on Thursday after a 49-33 record. The Suns were swept by Minnesota in the first round of the playoffs. Vogel led the Lakers to the NBA championship in 2020, but he was shown the door 2 years later. No movement yet in the Lakers' search for their 4th coach in 8 years. Tennessee State University has a new women's basketball coach. The HBCU school hired Candace Dupree, a 7-time WNBA All-Star. Congratulations to Florida A&M's men's golf team. They won the HBCU National Championship. The Rattlers finished 29 strokes ahead of the competition. The Dodgers' 7-game winning streak is currently the longest in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers start a 3-game series in San Diego tonight. First pitch at 6:40. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
May is National Foster Care Month. You can help a child in need of a loving, safe, and nurturing home by becoming a foster parent, providing the support children need to be successful in life. Black children are disproportionately represented in foster care. When placed with families in their community, they have better outcomes to thrive. FosterLAKids.org or 888-811-1121. Again, 888-811-1121. Call today.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. Happy Friday. So, we're going to go, me and Sherri Bell, straight out of labor, straight out of radio. We're going to Dwight, straight out of Compton. Hi, Dwight.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Hotep. Good morning, Sherri.
Good
Thank
morning,
you,
Dwight.
all of you, KBLA, Miles, Tavis, and everyone there for the great information you give us and the great call to action, Dominique, you give us. And I want to wish you, all the beautiful women in our lives, a happy Mother's Day, and thank you for everything you do and the encouragement that the mothers give us. And I have a very short poem, if it's okay with you, Dominique, for Mother's Day.
I don't like people reading on the radio, Dwight. Oh, Lord, I do not like people reading on the radio. I just have a thing about it. To me, unless you're a trained professional, unless your name is Don Lemon,
oh, okay.
Reading doesn't.
I got you.
How short is short? How many lines we talking, Dwight?
Just three short verses. 3 short
verses. No,
paragraphs.
I could do one verse. I could do one. Give me your best verse. I can't do 3 unless you're gonna rap it over music. I could do one verse.
I hear you.
I could do haiku.
Okay. It's a poem. That's writebooks.com is my website. It's just called A Mother's Love. The very last short verse, it says, "A mother's love wishes you joy, but know some sorrow will be there too. And when you're worn and torn, a mother's love makes you feel brand new." And that goes out to you, Dominique, Sherri, all the mothers and women in our life that fill in for mothers, and just say thank you for all the encouragement that you guys give us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dwight. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I just have this thing. It's like my nightmares, people reading on the radio. One of my nightmares.
Yeah, that was sweet. Almost made me teary-eyed, Dwight.
Yeah, and I'm sure, going out to your mama, too, as well. Lots of love, no doubt. Yeah, well, I think Kwamel is in the chat. Maybe he'll call later today. He says he thinks KDL, he thinks maybe the reason they're putting disgraced, racist Councilmember Kevin DeLeon back on committees is because they anticipate him winning his seat.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, hopefully that's not right. I'm hoping it isn't. But I think that it's for me, it's a wake-up call. You know what I mean? It's just a reminder that we got work to do. And I just want us to be, I want to be clear. I'm happy that Curran Price is back on committee. I agree with you, Sherri. I don't think Councilmember Price ever should have been taken off committee. He has not been convicted of anything. Mm-hmm. He is the charges that the DA's office chose to bring for some reason are ridiculous.
Right.
They should have just said, you know what, you got to pay back this money.
Yeah.
And don't do this no more. Because as others have pointed out, those votes that they're talking about, they're mass votes. When they vote through a bunch of things that aren't controversial, he may, and they're just yay or nay. They're not things that are debated and that are controversial. So he might not have even known those things were, his wife's things, and his vote wasn't make or break. They were just easy passage. There's a name for that. Can't think of it right now.
Right. For
those type of bills. But so it's ridiculous, and so I'm glad he's back, but that doesn't make it's not tit for tat. It's not, the black team will trade Curran Price for KDL. No, we're not playing that game.
Right. Yeah, and I think he's been in the politician long enough to know that if he probably knows, how can I say this? The intentionality of him doing something wrong. Right, he's been a politician long enough to know that what he should and should not do to avoid getting in trouble. He's been in office a really long time in various positions.
Yeah, that's true. And DeLeon, he's also, he's a slick politician. He calls himself a progressive, but you heard what came out of his mouth. And so to me, he's if he is a progressive, he's like a Trump. progressive, which is not possible.
You know, I mean, he ran for mayor. I'm like, well, that would have been a
That
huge
went
catastrophe.
terrible.
But
He got like 5 votes.
well,
I mean, he didn't even come close. I thought he was really going to be a contender for mayor because, I figured we have such a huge Latino population. He's, a known name.
yeah, that is a good point. But I guess Karen Bass her camp been having boots to the ground for a long time, and they know the power of organizing, and she had to support a labor behind her. And so, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Curran Price asked to be taken off of committees because he had to prepare his response to the charges. And apparently he's back. And I hate the way they say embezzlement. They call his charges embezzlement, meaning the embezzlement part means he gave his wife health benefits when they don't feel she was qualified because he wasn't fully divorced from his prior wife, even though he'd been with his current wife and living together, common law, domestic, partner, I mean, for years and years and years.
Right.
So it's clear she was his actual wife. So that is what we call in legalese BS.
Right. I mean, there's so much talk about restorative justice and, like I don't know about that for, politicians, but there's like a new wave and like how punishment is rendered and it just seems like that was a bit excessive. And I don't know, people who they choose to try to make an example out of. It's pretty apparent that race is a factor on how people who have decision-making power choose to exercise their power, and the biases that go along with how certain decisions are made and how certain situations are looked at. If the IRS, they said the IRS actually audits Black people at a higher rate than anyone else.
Yeah.
So if you got systemic racism happening at that level, just imagine, how it can play out in smaller pockets of things.
It's amazing too, because you wonder, how did they know we're Black at that level? Is it? How do they, is it our names? Like, what is it that
is something
tipping them off to the Blackness? Because
right.
technically the IRS should just be seeing paperwork. But let us not forget, when it comes to KDL, that Isabel Jurado, who's running against him, was the biggest vote getter.
Okay.
She got more votes than DeLeon, an incumbent.
Yeah.
And she's never run for office before.
Yeah.
So that's really a slap in the face to him, too.
You know what? There's a turning of the tide in the city of L.A. when you think about people like Gil Cedillo, who was ousted by Ulysses Hernandez.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, and other, long-time incumbent, I don't want to say career politicians, because sometimes that's not a bad thing.
Right.
But,
right. It's like we penalize them for knowing what they're doing.
Right.
We don't say career basketball player or career radio host. So you're right, but I think what you mean is just an opportunist politician.
That too, like they don't really care what they do and they just want to have some power. But
right.
But you got these new progressive voices that are in tune, like they're growing up and feeling the pain of how the economy is affecting them as being a young adult trying to grow into adulthood and the lack of opportunities they have and what they're seeing. Like they're experiencing it firsthand. And I think that the voters can connect with that and the messaging that when they are on the campaign trail. And I think that that's probably why she got more votes.
James Farr over here correcting us in the chat. Thanks, James.
Yeah.
About to shoot you. That's big Virgo energy right there. Just playing. I'm not really going to shoot James Farr. He says it's called a sweep motion on the consent calendar, talking about how they just vote up and down things that aren't. And thank you for that, James.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
Is he going to learn something on this show?
Yeah, we learn too. And
Right.
I'm always grateful for that. I'm just playing. So, and actually, James going to be joining me because starting Monday, he's going to be, starting Tuesday, he'll be calling in because he's covering Dr. Melina Abdullah versus the LAPD, which starts on Monday.
Is that when they carried her out of the auditorium?
No, I don't know what happened to that case.
Okay.
This is the swatting. They've swatted her house 3 times now, pointing guns at her and her kids, and they say that they're teenagers supposedly calling, but like y'all don't know where Dr. Melina Abdullah lives and y'all have her cell phone number. Y'all know who she is. Yeah. So that's going to court and they're asking folks to show up in court, I think, starting Tuesday. downtown, because this is an historic trial. She's suing them for swatting her. And this is that crazy story, Sherri, where not only they swatted her 3 times, they swatted one of the attorneys that's representing her in the case against them for swatting.
So how did they? Somebody did their research. There's no coincidence there.
Well, they're saying it is, of course.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm no offense, I'm not trying to say that, but I'll just leave it to say this: law enforcement at times can be petty. I was thinking about Beyonce and her performance at the Super Bowl and her video for Formation, and it was an image of a police car, being drowned in water, and the imagery and the comments that she had been making about the murders of unarmed Black people, and that they denied giving her security. When a Super Bowl was happening in the city that it was happening in that particular year when she performed, they didn't want to.
Yeah, I don't remember tracking that.
Yeah, okay, I heard about that. I'm pretty sure I'm accurate. So basically,
I'm pretty sure you are too.
But what I'm saying is that, if you criticize them, you could look at receipts historically where, there's been. They might just look away.
That happens all the time. Yeah,
look away.
I mean, they turn their back on that
right,
on the mayor
right.
of New York.
Yeah.
That's not professional.
Right.
That is not
That's
professional.
Operating like a gang or...
Your job is to protect and serve.
Right.
Even when you don't feel like it. My job is to come on the radio, even when I have no sleep or I'm, feeling grouchy. Doesn't matter. We have to do our jobs.
You're a public servant. You work for the public. Your job is to serve the public. It shouldn't be a power play, right?
Right. Or a threat. I mean, because that's really a threat. It's like, forget you, Beyonce. We'll let somebody get to you. And no, I don't think so.
Right.
But that's just not professional. It's like when cops say, because everyone's, asking for accountability and protesting us, I don't want to be a cop anymore. My job is not rewarding. Oh, so you have to be popular to do your job? Mm-hmm. That's not how it works.
Right.
People don't give medals to, sanitation workers, and they show up and do their jobs.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on a job, you should be held accountable to be professionalism. I mean, everybody pretty sure had a job where somebody was rude to them and they wanted to curse them out, but you can't curse them out because you're on the clock and you
you have freedom of speech. You can, but then you have to deal with the consequences, which is you will probably be fired.
Right. But these people, this type of occupation has been, how can I say, getting away with that kind of treatment to the public for a long time. And I hope that this situation with Melina is thoroughly investigated and it creates some type of precedence, regarding this type of issue. And
they do need to. From what I understand, the LAPD, actually, according to lawyers on Melina's case, LAPD does not have a clear policy of how to respond to swatting, even though swatting is very common in Los Angeles because of celebrities. Right, yeah. People want to troll celebrities, so they send police to their houses, but yet apparently there's no clear policy. And how you could let that happen to an activist who works on police issues repeatedly is really daunting to get my mind around. I do not believe there will be a thorough investigation. I don't. Who's going to do it?
Who's going to do it? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was the nature of the call. But like, if you coming out 3 times and you seen the first time was a joke and the second time was a joke, so you're gonna come out a third time and it's a joke, like you're not gonna question it.
And not just come out with helicopters, guns pointed, forcing the kids to come out of the house, scaring the kids, traumatizing them. I just think it doesn't make any sense. Well, anyway, that trial starts Monday with jury selection. James Farr will be on the ground. He'll be reporting for us on what's happening in the courtroom there. And so, we'll be on that. Mm-hmm. Sherri Bell and Dominique are here, and you're welcome in. You're invited. 800-920-1580. This is the place where we are amplifying Black and progressive voices. Real progressives. Yes, Molly Bell, I know there's no such thing as a Trump progressive. I was kidding. KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
To argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had leaf filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Sunday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Sherri Bell, the time always goes so fast when you're here because we always have fun talking. And I am serious about Mother's Day.
Yes, let's
You got
do
to
it.
come over. We're
All
going
right.
to have some champagne and something, whatever you like for brunch.
Okay.
We'll come up with
all
something.
right, all right.
Yeah, not saying I'm going to cook or anything. We'll get some.
Like, let's not get too
Let's
far
not get
ahead
carried
of
away.
ourselves.
So we were talking about a little bit about reparations.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Freedman Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, which reminds me, I believe. Anyway, I'll get to that later. So you were talking about the Freedmen's Bureau.
Oh yeah. So I was watching something on TV the other day, and they was like, Abraham Lincoln formed the Freedmen's Bureau. You know, for newly freed slaves. You know, to be able to get together and you know talk about ways to improve their lives. And then when Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, the next president who came in was, of course, racist and dissolved it and did away with the Freedmen's Bureau.
Right. And the Freedmen's Bureau was also not just for, it was meant to be a hub of benefits, like banking, and loans, and all the things that, we had been denied. Yeah. So Steve Bradford, our California senator, has a bill to create a Freedmen's Bureau in California.
That's awesome. That's awesome because it's like we had it. Why was it never put back in place?
Right. Well, it's the same reason that Reconstruction was started and never finished, a promise of repair, right?
Yeah.
Reconstruction, no, never mind that. It's kind of like a version of affirmative action. I'm not saying reparations is affirmative action. Don't start with me. What I'm saying is they set out to fix the inequities in education. They did not fix them, but conservatives decided that they were being discriminated against, so they stopped the repair before it's finished. That's a repeated pattern.
Wow. I mean, yeah, when you think about California, there are some real bad things that have happened because of racism systemically. Like if you watch the show Them on Prime, Amazon Prime, you get to see how in Compton, California, when that neighborhood started to change from white to black, how the banks charged new black homeowners like a 20% mortgage rate. And the banks was like, well, it's a win-win situation, right? Either they default on their mortgage and they win, or they pay us a lot of money and we win, right? So it was like a calculated step to take advantage of a group of folks. That happened in California. What's still happening is property taxes determine how resources are allocated to schools, and that determines how the books look, how the resources look, and that has a current effect on our children in how they're being educated, and that's currently happening right now due to things like that, right? The intentional devaluation of property and how those dollars go to local schools. So it's still a lot of repair that needs to happen that's ongoing right now.
Yeah, and that's what I loved so much about the work of the California Task Force, because they really go. I mean, it's a long report, but there's a summary, a 60-page summary. But they go step by step through all these different areas: education, banking, housing, healthcare, and what those impacts are of not just of slavery, but also of Jim Crow and the subsequent. So that's why I think they're so on point, and I do hope that others copy us. In this.
Look, we are not Delulu, okay? like the numbers don't lie. Like, we are experiencing the effects of systemic racism, and we've never received reparations, and us asking for fair and equitable treatment, as the country intended, is not insane, right? Like, what we're experiencing in the numbers, like what we're asking for is not crazy. We're not delusional.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. We're not delusional, and it's a debt that's owed to us. We are not delusional, and we are not asking for welfare.
Exactly. We're
Pay
asking
me what you owe me.
Yes, exactly. People, try to frame it that way.
Right.
And people who are Republicans and, black folks who are like trying to veer off into Republicans because they feel like, oh, I've worked hard and it's time for people to pay their fair share and pull themselves up by their bootstraps and pay their fair share of taxes. Guess what? Republicans take welfare too in the form of tax breaks. So if you think that you are joining a party that is going to be a proponent of people like you who are not in the top 1% to advance in this economy, think again.
I mean, it's a great point, because I saw an analysis from Robert Reich, the economist, that the reason why Trump is going to do another round of tax, how he's going to pay for that is by cutting Social Security. To give more tax breaks to the rich, which is going to cost trillions, he will have to cut Social Security, which is why I say it's really defund grandma. That's really what his campaign should be. Defund your mama.
Yeah, that's no checks and balances, and it's gotten away with so long. So just pay it. That's I really, when I try to come on here, I just hope that somebody is listening and have an open mind and don't sip the Kool-Aid and don't fall for the smoke and mirrors behind a lot of these talking points that a lot of folks are saying on their campaign trail.
Sherri Bell, happy Mother's Day. Thank you for coming in. What you want to leave us with?
I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and all the village of people out there who support mothers. We have to lift each other up and continue to take care of our village and practice gratitude, for everything that we have, because that's a way to combat all the negativity that we hear and see in the world.
Thank you, Sherri Bell.
Thank you.
It's a great time to call me, 800-920-1580. Well, we're going into Freedman Friday. We've got a special guest, and it's always a great time to call me, KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network The House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure is going to have a hearing on the federal response to the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore, Maryland in March. A press release from the committee said the hearing will be held Wednesday morning and will feature witnesses that include NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy and a Federal Highway Administration official. A Virginia school board is voting to restore Confederate names to two of its schools, and Robert E. Lee from the local schools, to affirm the district's commitment to an inclusive school environment. At a meeting, the school board voted to restore the names, saying the change